Alright, what is going on, everybody on YouTube? Griffin here, coming back to you guys with another live stream from the Millennial Motivation Entrepreneur YouTube channel. First and foremost, before we get going, if you're new to the channel and going to be tuning in for the first time, we'd love to have you here for the future videos and live streams, so definitely consider hitting that subscribe button below and hit the bell icon right beside it there. That way you'll be notified every time we go live or upload another video. Pretty much most of the videos here are live streams. It's just once they upload into a video, it's a video, so that's why I say live or video. But with that, we will just kind of go ahead and hop right in. I'm trying to get switched over. I was doing a little bit of paper trading with the E-mini futures and micro E-mini futures and whatnot. So I'm flipping back over really quickly to my actual portfolio. And then, of course, I got it pulled up here for you guys as well. And I'm going to be kind of breaking down today because I got a lot of requests recently over the last couple days from you guys to kind of just give you guys a breakdown of kind of the exact trades I'm placing. I tell you guys in Discord, of course, like when I place a trade and whatnot, but I don't really go into deep detail as to why. A lot of times, sorry about that, by the way, if you hear some type of a banging or next door neighbors doing God knows what, we never heard from them, but now all of a sudden they're making loud noise. But anyways, you guys know again why, you know when that I'm getting into my trades and whatnot, but not exactly why, because of course when we're getting in and out of trades, it takes a lot of your patience and attention, all that good stuff. So a lot of times I'll just shout it out real quick. I'll say I got in at such and such price, this many shares or this many contracts, etc. But I don't necessarily go into deep detail exactly about why. But I will be doing that here today. So I'm getting my orders pulled up here, and I'm trying to see if I can get it filtered to where I can see all of my trades. Yeah, okay, for the last 7 days. So we'll just go with that, I guess. And let me see. I want to see if there's a way that I can do this on here, actually. On my monitor, I want to see. So right now, by the way, I'll just go ahead and let you guys see everything. So right now we are overall up. We're kind of unchanged over the last couple days. I mean, we were down pretty big on SQQQ, which we sold out of. I'll talk about that in a minute. We're holding 10 shares of TQQQ that we bought pretty much mostly all after hours, which is down a little bit now. We had 2 shares of Apple that we missed a really good day trade opportunity. I was literally watching it as it hit $301. I was up roughly like $16 at that point. And it just came and gone so quick, and now we're down a little bit. But I don't mind holding it. I wasn't trying to use a day trade on that. But yeah, so we're holding that right now, expecting it as well as the Qs overall to kind of bounce back, hopefully, if not tomorrow, maybe sometime early next week. But yeah, overall, we're still up about $250 to end the month of April, so we cannot complain about that at all. When we put that in terms of percentages, we'll just call it 249, 249. Actually, we'll just call it 245 because I paid about $3 in commissions this month because I did do one option trade on SPY. You can see it was up $25 on the day. We covered that for about, what was it, like 15 bucks, and then after commissions like 12 or 13. So we'll just call it 245 after fees and commissions of profit. So this is net profit divided by $1,500. That means we finished the month of April up just under 17%. We were actually up, like I said, quite a bit more. We were up 277 at one point after hours. But like I said, that was the Apple trade. It went way up, and then it came right back down, of course. And we'll take a look at Apple in a little bit as well. But overall, I can't complain. I think the markets overall finished up around 12% or something like that. For the month, which is one of the best months I heard in decades. It sounds like since 1987 or 74, something like that. So we're talking 30, 40 years that the market has had that good of a month, and I was up more than the market by about 4.3%. So I will not complain about that overall for a month. When we break that down from a weekly standpoint, it's like over 4% a week. So, I mean, definitely a pretty good month. First month using TD Ameritrade Thinkorswim for our portfolio. Definitely encouraged by the good month that we had. But with that, like I said, I'm trying to figure out here if I can do it or if I'm just going to have to go one by one. Just tell you guys from the phone and get it pulled up on the chart so we can see here today. I guess we can just kind of start with today's, and then I can kind of try to see if I can find out. And if you guys know, because like I said, this is my first month still using the Thinkorswim platform. I'm used to Tastyworks. It's pretty easy to find all your orders and whatnot from the last month. If you guys know how to pull all of them up from, like, say, the last week, let me know in the chat. I'd greatly appreciate that. I haven't pulled up on my phone, but it's a lot harder to kind of transition it to your computer, of course. So while I'm waiting on that, let's just break down kind of what we had. So we bought a vertical spread on SPY, a call spread, because when we took a look at the SPY, which obviously goes hand in hand with ES, of course. Pulled up here. What I was looking at on this trade was the 20-day 1-hour chart. So when I took a look at the 1-hour chart yesterday, I could tell, again, we were showing pretty decent signs of overbought. And then I also took a look at that 4-hour chart. And we also briefly touched twice in the last 2 trading sessions signs of overbought as well. And I was looking at our Bollinger Bands both on the 4 and 1 hour chart as well. And every time we seem to brush along that upper band, we usually have a decent minimum of about 2 to 3% pullback. Sometimes right around like 1.5 to 2, which is pretty much what we've had now with where we're at in the after hours, is about a 2 to 3% pullback. So I definitely think we pulled back a little bit. We could a little bit more. We might test that bottom Bollinger Band, but to be determined, of course. We'll see what happens overnight. But that's the whole reason why I placed that trade. I placed it about an hour before the close. Pull up the 5-day, 5-minute chart. We placed that about an hour before the close. We were down a little bit. I want to say like $10 or something like that on the trade going into close yesterday. We'll go back to the monitor here. And then you can see we sold it today. We closed the position today for a debit. We paid a debit, obviously, because when you close a position, you have your max profit on a vertical spread. So the max profit on this one was like 100 and I don't remember the exact amount, like 115 roughly, something like that. So since we paid a 93-cent debit, we got roughly, like I said, 15, maybe slightly more, but right around $15 of profit. The total commissions was right around $2 on that trade. So again, about a $13 profit. So we'll call it $13 divided by, and we had to put up in capital, I think it was $227 or something like that, somewhere around $225. But either way, about a 5 to 6% profit. So a decent winner there, nothing major. Like I said, it's all about just continuing to roll those profits into one trade after the other. Then you can see we bought 2 shares of TQQQ during lunch hour, at least lunch hour where I'm at. The Qs, if we go over and take a look, pull up TQQQ here. When we take a look at the 1-day chart, what did I say? I bought it like 12:58 or something like that. And I'm in Central Time, of course. I bought in around 12:58. So I bought in where I thought we were starting to set up as a solid support, just in case if we started to go up, because I was still holding SQQQ at the time. Hindsight's 2020. If I knew we were going to slide after hours, I would have went ahead and held that as well. We'll get SQQQ pulled up here. Go back to the monitor. We'll talk about Apple in a minute, but then I sold, as you can see, I sold SQQQQ going right into the close. We took a very, 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 very small loss. I called it out in our Discord group chat. I think it's like $7, $7 or $8, something like that. So a very, very, very small loss. Honestly, I was just tired of holding that trade. Like I said, hindsight's 2020. If I knew we were going to slide after hours, I wouldn't have bought Apple at that time, of course, and I would have held on to SQQQ. But I mean, none of us are fortune tellers at the end of the day. It was kind of unexpected, but yeah, so we took a very, very, very small loss on that. So say that I somehow managed to break even, we would have been up another $7 or $8 on there. But that's the name of the game, right? Not every single trade is going to be a winner. How I looked at it was, hey, you know what? This made me a little chunk of money. At the time, TQQQ was up like $2 already on that tiny position at the time. And then Apple was also up already like $7 whenever I closed that position. So I was like, you know what? Let's not worry about it. This will end up, all these other trades will end up overtaking that anyways, because that's what it's all about, right? Just minimizing the losses and maximizing your profits, of course, which is what we've done over the last month using Thinkorswim. And then what we did was once we closed that, as you can see, about an hour, hour and a half later in the after-hour session, we bought 8 more shares of TQQQ as it slid in the after hours. I wanted to buy some before the market opened back up at 5 p.m. Central U.S. time. And then, of course, like I said, we bought Apple prematurely. We bought it pretty much right at the close, just 50 seconds after the close. So if we go and take a look at what's really going on with Apple, and I'm not worried about this Apple position at all. They beat on top and bottom earnings. It's kind of a overreaction that it's even down in the after hours trading. That's why I also loaded up a little bit on TQQQ, because I kind of feel like Amazon's what's dragging down the queues at the moment, and it might even be, it's not directly, of course, going to affect Apple, but I noticed once Amazon started sliding, that is when Apple started to slide, because Apple, once the earnings came out, it shot straight up. And then, I mean, obviously a lot of times when earnings come out, we tend to have a reversal, but Apple was hanging in there for a few minutes, and then Amazon, they started talking about how Amazon missed on their earnings. Had CNBC also, out of everything with the Apple earnings that they could have mentioned 17% growth on services, et cetera, but no, CNBC, for their first headline they wanted to pump out was iPhone sales down 7%. Like, no shit, Sherlock. Of course iPhone sales are going to be down. Fucking stores are closed. Of course the sales are going to be down. But, you know, I mean, it's news at the end of the day. News thrives off of that negativity. But either way, started to slide. So if we take a look here, we got in, like I said, right at the close, just about a minute after the close. So we did catch it as it was starting to go down. And then, like I said, it just happened so quickly. I was about to pull the trigger and just set a sell order at 300. And by the time I actually had it pulled up and ready to go ahead and send the order in, we'd already dropped back down to like 296, 297. And I was kind of like, okay, let's kind of see what happens over the next few minutes. A few minutes turned into 291 pretty quickly, and it just kept sliding. So I was like, oh, well, I mean, I didn't want to burn a day trade. It would have been my last day trade available till Tuesday anyway. So I was like, I didn't really want to burn it anyway. So I don't mind having to hold this, even if I have to hold it for a couple of days, which is probably what's going to happen. I'll probably have to hold this, I'm assuming, until maybe, unless if we get a turnaround overnight, I'll probably be holding this till Monday or Tuesday is my expectation. And my target profit, in all honesty, is right around where it was. 300 to 305 is kind of my target profit, which would be around, I think I'm in at, like 293. Yeah, 293.55. So you're talking about, I'm shooting for about $8 to $10, $8 to $12 per share of profit, only 2 shares. So again, maybe another $16 to $25 of profit. Nothing major, but again, I mean, that all adds up, of course. As for TQQQ, when we're talking about targets and whatnot, get it pulled back up here. So I forget what my average prices exactly. Let me get it pulled up here actually on my phone, because the phone is good about showing you on the chart where you're at. So my average price is $67.25, so we're down less than $1 a share, of course. And what I'm looking for pull up the 5-day chart. What I'm looking for isn't nothing major. I mean, in all honesty, if I can make about $1 or 2 per share, I'd be fine with that. But in all honesty, I want to see somewhere around $71. So we'll just kind of see what happens. I expect it to go over $69 to $70 again, in the most, at the longest, probably Monday, Tuesday, kind of like Apple. We'll see what happens with Amazon ultimately. Amazon, even though they technically like missed, it wasn't necessarily like a bad earnings necessarily. They just had to cough up more money to get their actual earnings because of the whole coronavirus. They've been limiting, obviously, certain shipments and whatnot when it comes to shipping to essential items and so on and so on. Now they're opening that back up. So, I mean, nothing's to worry about with Amazon. Of course, Amazon is just on a hell of a run, so they were looking for any reason to sell it, of course. It was up to like, what, $2,400 a share or something like that. So we'll see what happens with Amazon. Amazon's going to be a key thing to watch. As for TQQQ, the NASDAQ, of course. So yeah, like I said, and if worse comes to worse, if it slides a little bit more, the furthest I see this thing sliding is probably like that $63 to $64 range probably. If it does, I'll probably buy another like 5 shares, something like that, and ride it back up to, again, that $70 range is kind of what I'm looking for my target profit. So if I'm in at 67.25, if I can get it there roughly, close enough. If I can get right around $70 for it, let's say 69, you're talking about 4% profit. So again, nothing crazy, not like 10%, 20%, anything like that. But what do I keep telling you guys? If you can even do 0.5% to 1% and have a couple of sprinkles of 5 to 10% here and there, your portfolio is just going to continue to grow and compound over time. Which is pretty much what I'm doing at the moment. You guys know I plan on trading a couple micro E-mini futures here in the very near future, but in the meantime, this is just what I continue to do. Just have $10 profit here, $20 profit there, $5, $30, and just continue to just roll those profits into trade after trade after trade. And of course, you're going to have that occasional loser. I think my total losers over the month have added up to maybe somewhere around $100 at the most. So, I mean, yeah, I'm up around $250. I could have been up over $350, but the fact that I'm still up $250 after losing right around $75 to $100, I'll definitely take that for sure. As long as I'm profiting, that is all I'm worried about. So let's go back to the monitor here. But yeah, that was pretty much it for trades on the day. It was kind of an active day for me overall compared to usual. But I want to see, like I said, hopefully too the stream is doing okay. I see we got 2 of you tuning in. Hopefully the stream quality is doing all right. I know earlier this week we had some streaming issues early on. It doesn't look like we're having them so far, so that's awesome stuff. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the stream. If you are, hit the thumbs up. I greatly appreciate that. Let me see. I'm trying, maybe if I go over to account statement. Maybe if I go, let's just do 7 days. Okay. Trade history. So that's what I have to do apparently, is go in here to trade history. So this goes all the way to the 24th. Okay. So yeah, I mean, if you guys kind of want to, I'm not going to like necessarily break down just literally trade by trade, because a lot of this in here is averaging down, especially SQQQ. A lot of it was averaging down. You can see I bought 10 shares, bought 5, sold. Yeah, a lot of this is like averaging down on positions. So I guess I'll try to attempt to explain. So we'll go back to the 27th on SQQQ. Go ahead and back. We'll go ahead and go back to SQQQ. And what was it, the 27th? Okay. So we'll kind of zoom in here on the 27th, which I think, if I remember right, let's see, I bought 15, 25, 30. Okay. So yeah, that makes sense. So I started out buying 15 shares early on in the morning, just a little bit after open, 8:58. So we can go over here and take a look at the chart. It's kind of weird looking at it after the fact that I've already done it. So we take a look at SQQQ, go down to 8:58. You can see I bought it on a downward trend. Of course, I don't really like buying anything when it's shooting up. Obviously, that goes against common investing 101 essentially. So I bought it as it was coming down. I was expecting it to hit a support right around 12.15, and I don't know the exact price that I got in. Let's see where I got in. So I got in at 12.17. So yeah, pretty much right off that 12.15 level. So when it bounced up, I went ahead and hopped in there, and then I bought 2 shares of TQQQ at the end of the day. As you can see, 3 o'clock, just after 3 o'clock, just 2 shares to kind of hedge. And then I also bought pretty much in that same minute, actually 30 seconds later, 10 more shares of SQQQ at 12.37. So we kind of actually averaged up on that position, which I normally do not do, but I was holding only 15 shares. So I was like, the profit's going to be so small, I'm going to go ahead and average up a little bit. And then I also bought a little bit more in the evening for about the same price, 12.36. And I remember exactly, like I said, what was going through my mind on that trade was, as you know, 15 shares of a stock that's only 12 to 12.50 a share. You're not really going to see hardly any profits on 15 shares. So when it pulled back a little bit, I went ahead and hopped in. I doubled my position essentially that evening to 30 shares. And then, of course, you can see we sold that for a decent profit. We sold that for a decent profit. Let me do the math for you guys, actually, on what the profit was. So we bought 15 shares. I'm trying to get it in between here. Oops, did not mean to do that. Come on, work with me here. Okay, so we bought 15 shares times 12.17 equals 182.55 plus we bought 10 shares at 12.37, so that was another $123.70. And then we bought another 5 shares at 12.36, so that's what, 60, what was that, like 61.80, something like that. So plus 61.80. So we had roughly, give or take, a $368 position. I'm just trying to keep track of all this so I don't miss anything for you guys. Let me get it pulled up here. I'm just remembering these numbers. So 368. And then we sold all 3 shares at 12.82 times 30. You bastard. 12.82 times 30. So we sold that at 384. So you take your 384.60 minus 368, and we made $16.60 divided by our original investment of roughly 368. That was, again, 4.5%. So, I mean, nothing major. You look at that dollar amount, you're like, man, $16, who cares, right? But, again, 4.5%. Multiply that by, say you had a $1,000 investment. You're talking $45 at that point. And then, again, we'll take the 4.5%. Say you have even a $5,000 investment, just keep beefing it up. And again, you'll see just the profits continue to go up, because again, when you're starting out with smaller money, that's what I try to stress with this YouTube channel, because I know so many people looking up these videos are kind of looking up just like how to get rich quick. And guys, you're not going to do it in the stock market, because this is a takes money to make money kind of game. And if you're not playing around with $10, $50, $100,000, you cannot expect to make $225 on a trade like that. You're looking more realistically at a trade like what I had. That was a $368 position, which I know most of your all's positions are right around that dollar amount. When you're talking stock positions, $368 times 4.5%, that's going to be $16, $17. So again, I cannot stress enough, just take that profit. Imagine, and by the way, I mean, say you took your $16.60, I think it was. Say you can duplicate that trade just once a day, or not even once a day. Let's just say 3 times a week, because PDT or whatever, if you're doing more of a day trade instead of swing trading like I do, say you only do that trade 3 times a week, you're still looking at about $50 a week times 4 weeks. You just made $200 on your account, and that's not bad at the end of the day when you're talking, again, small positions. So that's just one position. I'll probably break down another one or two real quickly for you guys, because like I said, I know you guys were kind of wanting to see my trades and kind of see and hear like my point of view on why I got in the trade, why I averaged up, why I averaged down, that kind of thing. So that's what I'm trying to do here for you guys. And of course, if you guys have any questions or ticker symbols you want me to take a look at, definitely just shout it out there in the chat, and I'll definitely answer any questions or ticker symbols you want me to take a look at as well. And then we did actually sell the TQQQ position, because that was our hedge. So we sold that. Let's see, we bought at 66.30, which actually, yeah, that was like the perfect scenario where we sold the SQQQ while it was still up on the day. And then we also, or that's that day where we went green to red, wasn't it? Yeah, that's right. So I woke up in the morning, saw the markets were down a little bit, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and sell my TQQQ. I don't see the green lasting. So you can see we actually made a couple dollars on that trade. We held 2 shares. We made, like $2.27. So we made like $4.64, $4.54, something like that. So again, nothing much, but I mean, no commissions or anything. So $4.54 more than what we had going into the day, of course. And then we made, like we said, over $16 on that other trade, the TQQQ that we sold. So those turned into over $20 of profit. So not a bad little setup that we had there. That does not happen often. We're literally within the same day, let alone within 4 hours of one another. You get a profit from both of them. So that one that was a perfect trading scenario. In all honesty, it does not happen often. Usually happens where one's profitable one day, and then maybe the next day or the day after, the next trade becomes profitable after we've averaged down and whatnot. But it never really happens. It's only happened like 2 or 3 times since I've been trading where it happens like that. But again, you're talking like a red to green, green to red type of day where you just timed it perfect, which again, just does not happen very often. So now we fast forward to, again, the same day. We decided to, once we flipped our SQQQ trade, we decided to go ahead and start buying some TQQQ very slowly, as you can see, just 3 shares at a time. We started out at $64.15, not a great price. We got in a few more, doubled our position at $62.79, which brought our average price down about $1 a share. And then we bought 4 more shares as it started going back up, which honestly wasn't the smartest move. If I was going to do that, I should have done it earlier in the day. But this was after I got home from work and was starting to get settled down for the night. I was like, you know what, I got 6. Let's go ahead and make it a 10-share position for an easy number. And then you can see we sold it again. That was a day trade actually where I should have held overnight. I was talking about this yesterday, I believe, in our Discord group chat whenever I flipped into SQQQ. I was like, I got a feeling what I should have did is I should have held my TQQQ, and when I bought SQQQ, I should have used it as my hedge. That was my original plan going into that trade. We can pull up the chart here so you guys can kind of see what I'm talking about. I think the 28th, yeah, that was right here. Or let me see, let's go back. TQQQ, so the 28th. Yeah, okay, that's right. So I was thinking that I probably should have held TQQQ and then hold it and then just buy some SQQQ as a hedge to maybe make some money. That's why this chart's not making sense, because I'm looking at SQQQ. So we were holding TQQQ. We'll zoom in just kind of right here. So again, we bought it and we sold it, obviously, really early, because like I said, we were holding it on the 28th, and then literally I sold on this little push up, like just a little bit of a push up we had. I went ahead and sold, and then that's when I went all in on SQQQ, and then I finally ended up buying, as you can see, like one share of TQQQ at 65.30. And then that's where it all kind of began, where we started kind of averaging down on SQQQ. As you can see, like I said, we already talked about that SPY trade that we had. And then, like I said, we kept averaging down on SQQQ. We did sell our one share of TQQQ. As you can see, we made decent profit on that. Where's it at? Our one share, 65.30. We made almost $6 off of that, which was right around 10% profit. So I think I had to use a day trade on that, and I was furious about it because, again, like I said, if I just held my TQQQ and then just used SQQQ as a hedge as my original plan, I would have had, I think it was going to be like a $50 or $60 profit. But instead, since I kind of flipped and used TQQ as a hedge, it only ended up being a little $6 profit. So that cost me a little bit this week so far. Again, live and learn. Stick to your plan. Don't go against your plan. Your original plan is usually the right plan. I compare it a lot of times to taking tests, like multiple choice tests. A lot of times when people go back through the test afterwards, they change like one or two answers. Then they end up getting those answers wrong, when if they had just stuck with the original answers, they would have probably got both of them right. So same thing kind of applies here. Just go with your original plan. More times than not, it will lead you to profits as long as you know what you're doing, I guess. And then, yeah, we're pretty much right back to where we were talking about our trades for today and whatnot. So, yeah, that's pretty much the trades for the last week. I don't know if I did like a great job kind of explaining my thought process behind it all. I hope I did. Like I said, I know a lot of you guys were kind of asking for me to kind of do this, like go through just my thought process behind the trades. It'll be much easier. Like I said a little bit ago in this video, I plan on actually hopping more so into the micro futures in the coming weeks, hopefully by the end of next month is what I'm shooting for. I could now technically with the amount of money I have available, but I want to be able to have enough money to trade 2 micro ES contracts. If they ever decide to push the initial requirement back down, I have enough to trade 2 or 3 contracts right now. Because if you remember, when the micros came out, MES only cost like $600-700 to trade. Now it costs like $1,300 to trade. So it takes more capital, and of course we've only got like $1,700-1,800 in the portfolio right now. And for my specific trading style that has worked best for me, it works very well when you can trade about 2 or 3 contracts. I don't really want to trade 2 or more than 2 or 3 contracts, because then your commissions can really start eating your ass a little bit, and you do not want that, of course, because you're talking roughly $5 of commission per trade. I think it's like $4.95. We'll just call it 5 for easy numbers, but this is what you guys don't think about, and TD Ameritrade doesn't do a good job of kind of showing you guys this, probably because they don't want you to be furious about how much you pay in commissions. But when you realize that, so TD Ameritrade, for example, will show you PL on the day, just profit loss. It doesn't factor in commissions or anything. It just factors in where you bought, where you sold. So say you have 3 micro E-mini contracts, and for a round trade, it's $15 a profit. So that means you need the trade to be in the money $15 just to break even on your commissions. That's what a lot of people don't realize. Now, that's only 1 point, essentially, that you need to be up. Like, it's nothing crazy. But whenever you say you have a trade go against you, like say you have a trade that goes minus $20, or even we'll just say 30, minus $30. Say you lost, so on 3 contracts, that'd be what, like 2 points, something like that. So you had a 2-point stop loss. Essentially, you lost $30. Well, guess what? You didn't just lose 30. You lost 30 minus 15. So you actually lost $45 on that trade. So that is why, like me personally, I don't plan on trading more than 2 or 3 MES contracts. Now, someday in the near distant future, whatever, when I trade ES and I have enough money, God knows when, to trade multiple ES contracts, it's not a big deal because you're talking such a huge difference. I mean, $12.50, I mean, a quarter of a point, your commissions and whatnot are covered. But when it comes to the MES, I mean, you got to be methodical, essentially, about how you do your trades to a certain degree. Like, you got to have it thought out. And what's been working out the best for me, and I'm going to explain this a little bit for you guys, as we take a look at MES, it's back up to $28.75, which I wonder if my order got filled, by the way, on my paper trade. Take a look real quick. Maybe not. Might not have. As I said, $28.75. So let's say, for example, boom, it just bounced off the Bollinger Band. Say you decided you wanted to go long here. I'm not saying to, but just say you decided I'm going to go long at $28.75. So right now, if I was to place this trade, I'd buy 2 contracts at $28.75 going long. I don't set a stop loss at first because, like, I'm sitting here watching the trade play out. I'm going to kind of see what happens. And, of course, like, I'm my judge, essentially. But I'm usually planning on cutting at no more than 2 to 3 points of a loss in most cases. And like I said, you got to think, even on 2 contracts, that's $10 of commissions. If I lose 3 points, that's $30 minus 10. That's a $40 loss. But again, let's say I got in, like I said, at $28.75. What I would be looking at for my first contract out of the 2, I'm looking for a minimum of 2 points. If I see 2 points right out of the gate, I let it run for a little bit, and then at 3 points, 3 or 4 points usually, at the most 4 points, usually it's around 3, but around 2 to 4 points, I'm taking the first contract off the table. That way I'm covering my commissions on the trade, because at 2 points, that's $10 on 1 contract. So keeping that mindset of, hey, my commissions on this trade is $10. Once I'm up 2 points, boom, commissions are paid just off of 1 contract. So stay with me. We still have 1 contract that's left, right? Because I said I only closed 1. I didn't close the trade at 2 points. I closed just 1 contract. That way my commissions are paid. That's $10. That is booked, covers the commissions and whatnot. And I'm leaving 1 as a runner, is kind of what we refer to them as. And like right now, we'd probably be getting ready to take that profit off the table on 1 of them at 77. So say we took the profit off at 77, we're leaving the 1 as a runner. What I'm shooting for from there is usually between 5 to 10 points at that point. I'm letting it run. I'm setting a stop loss of about 1 point. That way I'm covering my profits, covering my commissions, and then even if I get stopped out at plus 1 point, I'm still getting out of the trade with a little bit of profit. It's not much. It's only $5 at the end of the day, but it's still money at the end of the day. So That's the mindset we tend to use. I know one of you in Discord might be. He tends to do something similar. We all kind of have our own little variation of these trading styles on where we decide to cover profits, set stop losses, all of that good stuff. But that has been what's worked out for me so far. Pulling up my paper trading, because again, like I say to you guys, I can't stress enough, if you're like trading something for the first time or trying out like a new trading style or something, I cannot stress enough that you need to paper trade it for a bare minimum of like 2 weeks, preferably 2 to 4 weeks. Like, show yourself for a solid month essentially that this is actually a profitable way of trading, and then just slowly kind of dab your toes in it with your cash at that point. So right now tonight we are up, let's see, get to pull up here, positions. So I did not get filled, which means we have no positions. So we are up. We are actually up like $100 to start the evening. Right now we are still up $53 so far this evening. And I actually messed one of my trades up earlier this evening, so that kind of sucked. You can't, I guess there's really no way. What I did is I thought I was closing a position and I accidentally bought more into the short. I thought I was closing the short by hitting sell. I was actually buying more contracts. I just wasn't thinking, had a little brain glitch, so to speak. Good thing is you can't do that with cash because you don't got the cash available. The trade won't go through anyways. But again, it's just doing that repetitive. Just do something over and over and over, and eventually it'll just become secondhand nature. But yeah, so we're up, and we've been up every night that we've been doing this type of trading style, because it's awesome whenever the trade starts to work out in your favor. And I definitely suggest you guys try that type of trading style out. Just like I said, paper trading it. I'm never going to tell you guys to use your cash and literally try a trading style out, but try paper trading it. Just do like 2 MES contracts, or if you do NASDAQ or Dow Jones, whatever you like to trade futures wise, just go with paper trading 2 contracts. Have one, cover one whenever it's covered your commissions at the minimum, and then leave one as a runner, and then just set your stop loss at plus a point roughly, or wherever you see fit for your profit targets and whatnot, and just kind of let it run wild. Because it's been by far the most profitable way of trading micros for me. My previous ways with swing trading and whatnot, they were really hit or miss. There would be some that had 5 to 15 point profits, and then others that would lose a lot as well. So it's just too inconsistent, where this one, it's very much more consistent, and a lot of times that second runner is constantly getting 5 to 15 points of profit, not loss. It's consistently getting 5 to 15 points of profit, and if worse comes to worse, I'm getting out at plus a point still. So almost never, I'm not going to say every single time, but almost never does the trade actually become a loser, unless if it's on me, where the trade was a loser from the start and I lose my 2 or 3 points, which is what happened earlier. That was my fault. It was a stupid trade. I shouldn't have got into it, but you live and you learn at the end of the day. So yeah, but I think that's pretty much it as for kind of just what I've been doing lately, my trades, covering my trades, all that good stuff. And like I said, I hope the stream quality has been working all right for you guys. Hopefully we haven't had no glitches or anything. If you're new to the channel, like I said, we'd love to have you here for every time we go live or upload another video. Definitely consider hitting that subscribe button below. Hit the bell icon right beside it. That way you'll be notified every time we go live. We try to do these every Sunday. Every Sunday we have a Sunday stopwatch deal, of course, where we just kind of come, look at the market. And if you guys have any questions, ticker symbols, that's what I'm here for. I got it pulled up right now. If you guys have any questions or any ticker symbols or anything you want me to look at too, I'll stay on here for a couple more minutes in case if you guys do have any questions or tickers you want me to look at. But yeah, we try to go live at the minimum twice a week. I think this is already, if you include Sunday, I think this is the 3rd time we've gone live this week. I I kind of try to go live like every 2 or 3 days now. I go live every Sunday. I try to go live either like Tuesday, Wednesday, Monday. I pretty much never go live just because it's the first trading day of the week. Not a whole hell of a lot to talk about. But I try to go live every Sunday and Tuesday. And if I can't Tuesday, then I for sure do by Wednesday. And then usually Thursday, Friday, I'll throw another stream video, something like that, in for you guys as well. But yeah, when I take a look just at the broader markets here, taking a look at that 1 hour chart, we're definitely starting to get back to where I think is a good time to buy. I don't remember if the other night I brought up the fact. I know in our Discord group chat last night, I was saying that I felt we needed to pull back to the 28.75 range. If you guys don't believe me, hop in our Discord group chat. It's down in the link below. It's totally free to join. Of course, we don't charge for anything over here. But Mike B was asking me, like, why do you think we need to do that? And I was like, man, just look at the, not long-term necessarily, but the shorter long-term chart. And, I mean, you can tell, we're kind of overbought. I was like, I can definitely see us dropping to around the 28.50, 28.75, 80 at the minimum range. And that's pretty much exactly where we kind of fell. We dropped down to around 28.50. We're hovering around 28.75. So not every time you can predict it like that to a T, but it happened today. So, and I thought actually it was going to take till the end of tomorrow to happen, if I'm being honest. I thought we'd fall just a little bit today, like 0.25%, some bullshit like that, and then fall maybe 1% or 2% tomorrow. But we pretty much had a little waterfall today with the unemployment numbers and everything else. So we're down about 1% right now. I would not be surprised. I don't think it's going to happen, but in all honesty, guys, I would not be surprised if we see red to green possibly overnight tonight and into the open tomorrow. Kind of depends on what happens with Europe here in the next, how long is it till Europe opens up? About 6 or 7 hours. So we'll see what happens once Euro market goes live here in a few hours. They will kind of determine where we go overnight tonight for sure in the morning. But just be on the lookout, guys. I wouldn't be surprised at all if we go green overnight. I'm kind of biased. I am mostly in all long positions, of course, but when we take a look at my overall account, I still have $500 of buying power. So, if we go down, I'm ready to buy. So, not worried or anything like that. It's just my gut starting to tell me, yeah, we've had a little bit of a pullback. We had a little bit of an overreaction to Apple and Amazon earnings. I think the market was just looking for another reason to sell because, just look at that 20-day chart. We've been on a hell of a run. We see little pullbacks like these almost every few days, and that's a good thing, guys. If we were to just keep going straight up, it would mean we were going to have a huge fall at some point. So the fact that we keep having these healthy little pullbacks, you can see pullback, 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 a tiny bit of a pullback, if you want to call that one a pullback. We had one there, and now we've had this pullback, which is a pretty decent pullback itself, if we're being honest, 2-3% roughly now. What are we now? Over 100 points off of the 20-day high, so we pulled back enough where I just wouldn't be surprised if we go green tomorrow. If we don't go green tomorrow, we'll probably go green by Monday or Tuesday for sure. I don't see us going into some rollover scenario. If we go red tomorrow, I probably just ballparking it here. I'll say 2,800, something like that. So you're talking another 100-point drop. So I don't see that really happening. So we'll see what happens. But if we break that 28.50 support, yeah, it will probably drop and retest 2,800. But that's kind of worst case scenario in my opinion. And we already got the bad news out of the way today. As far as I know, there shouldn't really be any bad news for tomorrow. Actually, it sounds like Gilead this evening just announced that they're going to be able to produce several million of their drug or whatever that seems to be helping out with the coronavirus. So that's a little bit of good news. So who knows? We'll see what happens overnight, and we shall see what happens. But yeah, like I said, overall on the week, we're up about $40, something like that right now. Nothing crazy, but profits are profits. Cannot complain about that at the end of the day. like I said, I hope the stream has been doing well and whatnot, and hopefully you guys did enjoy the stream. If you did, definitely make sure to smash the thumbs up button. I greatly appreciate that. And like I said, if you're new to the channel, we'd love to have you here. Definitely consider hitting the subscribe button below if you've watched it this far. And once the video uploads, if you ever have any questions or anything, just shout it out in the comments below. Let me know in the comments below what stocks you're looking at and how your week and how your April went this year. But until next time, guys, keep on going out there, making your profits, covering your profits, and achieving your financial freedom this year. Just taking one step at a time and achieving that financial freedom that we all seek at the end of the day. And I will see you guys probably again on Sunday for our Sunday Stock Talk. But until then, take it easy, guys.